Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. We're so happy to have you all here today. We're super duper excited to be having this conversation about the nursing program at Fort Valley State University. We have some phenomenal information that we're hoping will get you all ready and prepared to submit your nursing application. And if you're not ready to submit your nursing application, we know that you'll get the tools that you need to apply to Fort Valley State and just come on in as a Wildcat. So feel free to use the chat. Go ahead and drop in where you're checking in from as we continue to let people pour in. Feel free to jump in the chat. All righty, so let us dive in. We got a lot of great information to provide to you today, and we got a little space of time. So we have Dr. LaWanda Green here with us today, who's going to fill us in on everything you need to know about the nursing program. We also have Mr. Alex Thomas here. He's the Executive Director of Admissions and Recruitment. We also have Ms. Taylor Redwine, or Taylor Ford, who is also here on behalf of the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. And oh my goodness, I didn't even introduce myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Aaliyah Wilkerson. I'm the Associate Director of the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. So we're all here to support you all. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Dr. Green.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you all made it here this evening. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of the nursing program. I have a PowerPoint. I'm trying to see where I share my screen at. Let's see. There we go. And all right. So since it's Black History Month, I wanted to know if anybody can tell me who the lady is in the top left corner. You can type it in the chat, or you can come off mute and tell me who you think it is. But no pressure. Anybody got a guess?
I think it's you, Dr. Green.
Not me. This is actually Mary Mahoney. This is the first African-American nurse to practice nursing in the United States. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that was interested. So we'll dive right into our department overview. Trying to move all this off my screen. Why is it not advancing? There we go. So a little agenda. I will give you a brief overview of what nursing is, the mission and vision of our program, our faculty and staff, kind of try to differentiate between pre-nursing and a nursing student, our program of study, the mission standards, a little bit of additional information, and then how can we help you? So what is a registered nurse? A registered nurse is a healthcare professional that can enter into the profession with an associate degree in nursing or a bachelor's of science degree in nursing. The difference between the two is with an associate degree, these programs are typically at technical colleges. I know of one here in Georgia where it is at a university. The core for this particular program is a little bit shorter, and the total credit hours for the actual degree is shorter. So it's usually between 65 and 67 credit hours. Whereas with the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, there are 60 core credit hours you have to take and 60 hours of nursing, which leads to 120 hours. And it may be 1 to 3 hours of institutional credit, which are specific to whatever school that you attend. The bachelor's prepared nurse will have separate courses in pediatrics and obstetrics, and they will also have courses in community leadership and research, and a separate pharmacology course where that is not available with an associate degree. They both sit for the same NCLEX, and NCLEX is the licensing exam that you must take in order to receive licensure as a registered nurse. Some employers for registered nurses include hospitals, clinics, schools, insurance companies, urgent care centers, health departments, and areas of practice can include medical surgical, cardiology, neurology, pediatrics, labor and delivery, intensive care, and that's just to name a few. So our program here at Fort Valley State is a pre-licensure Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Pre-licensure means that you don't have a license to practice as a nurse. And the reason why we add pre-licensure onto that name is because with the associate degree, you are an RN, but you will already have a license, and you can go back to school if you have an associate to do RN to BSN. But that's not what we have here. We have a pre-licensure Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Our program will prepare you to sit for the NCLEX exam, and you must pass the NCLEX in order to apply for licensure in the state of Georgia. Please note that in the state of Georgia, the Board of Nursing grants approval for a person to sit for NCLEX. So if you have any felony background or anything on this list here, you must, that doesn't say that the board won't approve you, but you have to let the board know about it, and they have to follow specific steps in order to get you clear to actually apply to sit for NCLEX. So if anybody is having that type of issue and you're thinking about applying to nursing, you may want to go ahead and speak with the Board of Nursing directly about your particular situation before you get into an actual program. So our mission here is we are going to prepare diverse nursing scholars to safely deliver quality health care to meet the holistic needs of clients. So we don't want to just meet the client's physical needs, but we want to meet their holistic needs, which encompasses everything, their spiritual care, environmental, social. We want to be able to produce nurses that can meet those actual needs. And we're focusing on health disparities and improving healthcare, especially in the rural areas where we see that a lot of patients have problems that probably would not have turned into a major health crisis had they had the proper intervention early on. So we're focusing on trying to alleviate those health disparities in the rural areas. All right. So our vision, of course, is to empower our clients to engage in their health and well-being. And we're going to do this through education, community outreach, culturally competent practice, research, and servant leadership. Our nursing department team includes the following individuals. Of course, myself, I'm Dr. Green, I'm the director of the program. Dr. Kimberly May is an assistant professor of nursing. Dr. May comes to us with 12 plus years of experience as a registered nurse, and she also has experience as being a clinical instructor. She's worked in oncology at Augusta University, and she is a board certified adult general acute care nurse practitioner. Dr. Ada Collier comes to us with 23 plus years of nursing experience. She is in the Air Force Reserves, and she's a lieutenant colonel. Dr. Daryl Thompson is our program specialist. Dr. Thompson has numerous jobs. He's had numerous jobs in nursing academia. He's also a family nurse practitioner and an adult general acute care nurse practitioner. And Ms. Alma Hubbard is our administrative assistant, who has an extensive background in accounting and has been an administrative assistant in a nursing department at a sister institution. So pre-nursing versus a nursing student. Pre-nursing students are typically freshman, sophomore classification. They will be enrolled in the core courses. They must take the TEAS exam before applying to the program. Students must apply to the nursing program once the core is complete. So you can't apply to the nursing program as a freshman. You will be classified as pre-nursing. And once you finish your core, then you're eligible to apply to the nursing program. A pre-nursing student needs to maintain a competitive grade point average. Our minimum GPA that we will look at for a student is a 3.0, but a competitive GPA is above a 3.0. 3.5 and above is highly competitive, because with nursing programs statewide, there are numerous students that are applying to fill a small amount of seats. Our first cohort will have 40 seats. So we will be looking at students from not only students here that are already here at Fort Valley that are core complete, but there will be other students from the outside as well. A nursing student has applied and been accepted to the program, and the department will enroll those students in the actual nursing courses that they will need to take. Students will progress as a cohort. So if you apply for cohort 1, which will start this fall, you cannot excel faster than the students in your particular class. You will enter as a cohort and you will end as a cohort. So this is our program of study. So the freshman and sophomore years kind of show you the classes that you would need to take in those 2 years in order to be able to apply at the end of your sophomore year for the actual nursing program. And the junior, senior year kind of delineate what classes are actually in the nursing curriculum. Our admission standards, and I won't read all of these, I'll just highlight the ones that are pertinent at this point. Like I said earlier, the minimum GPA is a 3.0. The T score is a 70. You must complete all of the core with a grade of C or better prior to entering the program. And a lot of students that I have come in contact with ask why does the core have to be complete? And I always give this scenario. If you apply to the program and you're accepted, and let's say you're lacking microbiology, if you attempt to take that micro with your nursing classes or in a semester, like the summer semester after your first year of nursing school, and you're not successful, you cannot continue in the nursing program. So that's why we stress that the core must be complete prior to entering. We would need all of your transcripts from any school that you've attended. You will have to write a 500-word essay. And the interview process is at the request of the admissions committee. 3 letters of recommendation will be required. The letters cannot be from friends, coworkers, family members, or pastors. Any student that has earned a WF, D, or F in any 2 nursing courses at any institution will not be eligible for admission to the nursing program here at Fort Valley State. So if you've been in a nursing program somewhere else and you were unsuccessful and cannot go back to that program, we will not be able to look at you here as well. If you've been in a nursing program and let's say you took 1 class and you withdrew, we cannot take any of the classes that you've taken. You have to completely start over. The only classes that we can take is the core classes. Any applicant that has been released, dismissed, or suspended from any institution or nursing program for any type of behaviors or any other reason would not be eligible for admission to our program here. In addition, anyone who's listed on the National Sex Offender or Predator Registry is not eligible for admission. And individuals who hold licensures in another discipline and have been subject to disciplinary action will not be eligible for admission. So let's say that you are a respiratory therapist and you had some issues that you were put on probation or something of that nature, you would not be able to apply for admission to the nursing program here. A lot of students are asking about scholarships. At this time, we do not have any scholarships available for nursing, but there are, if you go to the Johnson & Johnson website, they have a program where they show you a list of institutions or organizations that do offer scholarships for nursing. Internships, once students complete their fundamentals course in that first semester, they can apply for positions at hospitals. They usually call them patient care techs, or I'm trying to think of the other word. I can't think of it right now, but those type positions are available if you desire those once the fundamentals course, that first semester rather of nursing is completed. And this is just a couple of pictures of some things that we've been doing in our department. We've been doing a lot of community outreach, health fairs, career fairs at some of the area high schools as well. And hopefully that by 2025, if you all are successful, the ones that are ready to apply, you can put this on your cap at graduation or something similar to this. And I love the last one where it says earned it, and it's got RN in the middle, because definitely it will be something that you earn. It's not easy, but it is doable. So I have some of my faculty on, I believe they're on, Dr. May and Dr. Collier. And we want to know now, how can we help you? Instead of asking what questions you have, how can we help you with facilitating the process, or what else do you all need to know from us? And I'll open it up to questions. Stop sharing now.
Dr. Green, we have a question in the chat. Someone wants to know, can they apply to the nursing program without TEAS?
No, you have to take the TEAS. The TEAS is the test of essential skills. So with the TEAS, we want to see how well you can critically think, how well that you are able to apply those classes that you've taken prior, those core classes, how well you know that content, because that will come into play as you get into your nursing classes. So you have to take the TEAS and have to make a score of 70 or above.
Thank you. We have another question. How do you go about setting up a TEAS account or a TEAS exam?
Go to atitesting.com and look for the tab that says TEAS, and it will show you how you can register for the actual test. You can actually take the TEAS at home, but it will be proctored. But that is an option to take it at home, or you can take it on one of the campuses that actually offer the test on campus. We are trying to get it offered here on the Fort Valley campus. It's just some steps that we have to go through, but there are institutions across the state where you can take it, or you can take it at home, but you will be proctored. It's not like you just sitting there taking a test. They'll have a live proctor on when you're actually taking the exam.
Thank you, Dr. Green. There was a question in the chat. How are we supposed to be pre-nursing? I'm transferring, and they told me to apply to biology because pre-nursing wasn't an option.
Right now, we're in the process of getting it listed as an option, but go ahead and put down biology as your major right now, and we can get that changed over once you get here.
Perfect. Another question in the chat was, can we be a freshman and still take the TEAS exam?
I would, for the TEAS, your scores need to be within the year you apply for the actual program. So I would not take it as a freshman because you just have to retake, unless you just want to take it to see where you are, but those scores would have to be within a year of the application. Sometimes students take it more than once to try and improve their score. So if you want to take it, I can't tell you not to take it, but those scores will be too old for us to look at when you apply for the program. So you will have to retake it again.
Perfect. Another question we have is if I have a 2.8 GPA, but have elective courses in progress to get the 3.0, can I still be looked at? I have an 85 on the TEAS exam.
You can go ahead and apply and wait. And, then once we get the final transcript, we can see where your GPA lies at. So I would tell you to go ahead and apply, but just know that the minimum will be a 3.0. So if it's not there, then we won't be able to look at you. But if it does reach the 3.0, we will. But go ahead and apply.
Perfect. The next question is also related to taking a couple classes. A student has 2 more classes to take before they can apply to the program. They're asking if now is the time they need to take the TEAS exam.
Yes, and ask them, are they going to take those classes this summer? Do they plan on taking those classes this summer? If they're taking them this summer, they can go ahead and apply for the program and need to go ahead and take the TEAS.
Perfect. Thank you. Another question we have is, can one apply for the program while still taking prerequisites? You touched on that a little bit.
If it just depends on how many they have to take. If they are 6 or 7 classes short, no, I would say no, because the classes will have to be done before the end, be finished by the end of summer. But if they're like 2 classes short, maybe even 3 classes short, and they're planning on taking them this summer, then they can go ahead and apply.
Perfect. Another question in the chat, they're rolling in. Is FVSU now accredited with the Georgia Board of Nursing? They mentioned when they last visited, the department told them that we were working on this.
Our Board of Nursing has approved us with initial status, so that gives us the ability to go ahead and start the program. That's not necessarily accreditation. Accreditation is another process that we have to go through. So we are in the process of applying for candidacy for accreditation. But as far as being able to go ahead with the program, yes, we can.
Okay. Someone mentioned now with the deadline fastly approaching, they're wondering, would that be enough time to apply and still take the TEAS exam by their application time?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Someone mentioned again, when is the soonest we can apply? Do we have to take the TEAS test before we apply, which we just answered? Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and apply and take the TEAS test and send your scores in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Some more questions coming in. When will letters go out for decisions?
Letters will potentially go out toward the end of April, 1st of May.
Okay, thank you. Someone else wants to know, can we schedule a time with an advisor to look at our transcripts?
I would say yes, but that's outside of mine. Of course, David, they want to come talk to one of us, yes, but I can't answer for the advising department, but I'm sure that that's an option.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, David, if you want to send us a follow-up email, because I'm not sure if you're looking for an advisor to review your transcripts or you're looking for someone to review your transcripts to determine how they would fall into the nursing program. And like Dr. Green said, you're looking for, for her to look at your transcript to see how it will fall in nursing program, then she could probably help. The next question is, will there be a list sent out or personally given to us for all of our classes we have to take after being admitted into the program?
Into the actual program?
Yes, ma'am.
We will actually register you for the classes that you have to take for nursing. So like I was saying earlier, you would come in as a cohort. So that first semester is 15 hours. So we register the students for the classes that they have to take. That's something that they don't have to even worry about doing. And you don't even have to worry about your nursing courses filling up because it's going to be cohort based. And unless somebody is unsuccessful, that's the only reason that they will have to fall back and take something with another cohort. So they don't even have to worry about registering themselves.
Perfect. Can you talk a little bit about my favorite part that I use when we're out recruiting is the partnerships with local hospitals and also the simulation lab that we're working on?
Right now, we have affiliation agreements with Atrium Health, Navicent, Phoebe Health. We're working on one with Houston and Tiff Regional. And we will also have one with Piedmont, Macon, and Piedmont, Macon North Side. So most of the big ones here in this area, we will have affiliation agreements with, in addition to area organizations like the health departments. We will be working with our actual Head Start program here for pediatric clinical rotations, nursing homes in the area as well. What else? I'm trying to think. Our simulation lab is currently under renovations. We're almost done. We're waiting on our furniture to come in, which should be here towards the end of March. We have 3 high fidelity simulators and we have 2 mid fidelity simulators, which the difference is the mid fidelities do not do as much as our high fidelity simulators do. With the mid fidelity, you can do more hands-on skills with, and as far as the high fidelity simulators, we will be running like case scenarios where we can actually, have the patient living when you walk in the room, but we can make it die as well. So you have to be on your toes about what you need to do and critically think. So, but we will be having a ribbon cutting for that actual simulation area closer to the end of the semester.
Perfect, thank you. So in regards to when each cohort is coming in, are you all only accepting applications for every fall, or are you also accepting applications for spring cohorts as well?
It will be every fall right now.
Okay, perfect. And we had another question about wanting to schedule a meeting to be advised on some of those nursing courses. So we'll be sure to drop your email in the chat, Dr. Green, for students who may have some questions about that. Okay. Also, some folks are wondering what's the website or for the TEAS exam and where can they go to sign up?
Okay, let me pull that up right now if I can. I'm gonna share my screen again if I could get it to work. Hold on. I'm gonna put it in chat. It's atitesting.com. I'm gonna try to get it to come up on this. If I could go to the page right quick. Let's see. Bear with me. Can you all see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you go to atitesting.com, you're gonna click right here on TEAS. And then it gives you different tabs. So preparing for the T's exam details, registering for the exam, and scores and transcripts. So you just click on whatever tab that you're looking for. If you want to register for an exam, you go to that one and then click here. And it tells you how you can take it online, proctored by ATI, proctored by an institution, proctored in person at the institution, or proctored by an outside organization.
Okay, thank you for walking us through that. We got some great questions in the chat. What does a sample week look like in nursing? So for example, will we be taking in class for 3 days and doing clinical for 2 days? What are you predicting the schedule to be like?
Okay, let me find the schedule. Let's see where I had it. Hold on. Go back to share my screen again. Come on. So this is the schedule for fall. On Mondays, typically you'll be in class all day Monday. So the first class you have will be your fundamentals class. It will be from 8 to 11:20. We give you a break in there. And from 1 to 4, there will be your physical assessment course. On Tuesday, we will have the physical assessment lab. So students will either come from 8 to 11, or they will come from 11 to 2. This is a 3-hour lab. Wednesday, two groups will actually not have class. The other group will. So Wednesday, there's 2 fundamentals labs, and this fundamentals lab is all day long. So that's 8 to 5. So, and then the next group will have it on Thursday. So everybody gets kind of a day off. And Friday is pharmacology for everyone. And that class is from 9 to 12:20.
The next question in the chat is, we have Miss Natalie, who is a former graduate from FDSU with an animal science degree. And she's wondering, is there a time limit on the core classes, or would she have to retake them? She mentioned some of them may be about 10 years old.
Not that I'm aware of. I know that it used to be at a lot of institutions, but not that I'm aware of. You may want to just speak with the actual departments. If it's like a biology class or something, you may want to speak with that particular department to ask if there's a time limit. It's not a time limit for us, but it could be a time limit on their end. So I would just speak with those departments directly.
Perfect. Are there any other questions out there in the chat? Or just out there? Feel free to drop them in the chat. I also put the contact information for Dr. Green and I. So if you do have to leave early, feel free to email us if you want, or if you have general questions about admissions, feel free to email me, or you can email Dr. Green for your nursing specific questions. We absolutely love the nursing program team, so they're very attentive, which is exciting. Okay. We are also recording this meeting, so if you have a friend, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, or someone who you think would be interested in the nursing program, we will be posting this on our YouTube channel, and also we'll send you all the link. So feel free to share it, and we'll spread the wealth. No, you all asked some great questions tonight. Seriously. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So if all hearts and minds are clear, Dr. Green, did you have any final remarks?
No, but if any of them would like to meet with, myself or one of the other faculty, they can shoot me an email and we can try to arrange a time to sit down and chat with them, just kind of see what they're interested in and how we can further assist them. Can't answer a lot of questions about, would this transfer over or whatever, because I don't know that. But we can look at what they've taken and kind of compare and contrast to what we have on our program of study. I know it's a lot of students that may have taken chemistry, and from my understanding is that the chemistry will count because it is in the area D in USG. But students that have not taken any classes or whatever, we are really looking at, we want them to take the biology as opposed to a chemistry course.
Okay.
I don't
With
know
that
if
being-
the
oh.
faculty had anything to say, but I know they're on here, but I don't know if they want to chime in and say anything.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Green. This is Dr. Collier. I don't have anything except to say that great to see everyone participating and the interest in the program. So I'm available if anyone has any questions, particularly if you're looking at your TEAS, taking the TEAS test.
Dr. Collier, can you drop your email in the chat as well?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. All righty. Are there any more nursing staff members on the call that would like to mention anything or have any final remarks as well for our students? All righty. So with that being said, we do thank you all for joining us. We're going to give you a couple minutes back in your evening. If you have any questions, like we mentioned, feel free to reach out. Do not hesitate. And we look forward to seeing you all at Fort Valley State University. Have a great evening.
Thank you.